Have you ever wondered how Formula One teams manage to generate so much money? Today, we're going to uncover the financial secrets of this incredible sport. Get ready to discover how the world's top teams secure millions to compete at the highest level of motorsport. We all know that money makes the world go round, and in Formula One, it's no different. While sports like football and basketball can thrive without massive investments, the F1 scenario is entirely opposite. Here, you need to pay to play. Importance of money in F1. To start, Formula One teams need vast amounts of money just to line up on the starting grid. This money is necessary to develop and test new technologies, build cars that can compete at the highest level, and pay the salaries of drivers, engineers, mechanics, and a host of other staff. Additionally, there are logistics costs, which include transporting all equipment and personnel to races around the world, which can be extremely expensive. For example, transporting an F1 car and all its components to a race in a distant country can cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. In 2023, Formula One generated a revenue of $32 billion, an impressive figure that highlights the sport's financial magnitude. This revenue comes from various sources, including broadcasting rights, sponsorships, ticket sales, and merchandising. Broadcasting rights are one of the largest revenue sources, with television networks worldwide paying significant sums to air the races. Sponsorships also play a crucial role, with companies willing to invest millions to have their names associated with F1 teams and be seen by a global audience. In addition to the direct costs associated with developing and operating the cars, teams also need to invest in marketing and public relations to attract sponsors and maintain a positive image. Sponsorships are a vital source of revenue for the teams, and the ability to attract and retain major sponsors can make the difference between a competitive team and one struggling to survive. Formula One is an extremely costly sport where money not only allows teams to compete but also determines their success. From the enormous investments required to develop and test new technologies to the high salaries paid to drivers and staff and the logistical costs of transporting teams and equipment worldwide, every aspect of operating an F1 team is expensive. However, these expenses are necessary to ensure teams can compete at the highest level and continue to attract the significant sponsorships and global audiences that make Formula One one of the most exciting and financially significant sports in the world. Costs of F1 teams. The costs of operating a Formula One team are vast and complex, covering various areas from research and development to daily operations. Research and development, R&D, is one of the most expensive and fundamental areas for any F1 team. It includes wind tunnel testing, computer simulations, and track tests, all aimed at improving aerodynamics, efficiency, and overall car performance. These tests are critical because, in F1, even minor improvements can result in significant competitive advantages. For example, wind tunnel testing allows engineers to test different aerodynamic designs to find the most efficient configuration, which can be the difference between winning or losing a race. In addition to R&D, staff salaries represent a large portion of the costs. This includes engineers responsible for car design and development, mechanics who maintain and repair the vehicles, and strategists who plan race tactics. It also includes drivers who are often the public faces of the teams and can earn astronomical salaries. High-profile drivers like Lewis Hamilton can receive up to £40 million a year, reflecting not only their skills but also the risks associated with driving at high speeds. Team directors like Toto Wolff of Mercedes and Christian Horner of Red Bull also receive high salaries due to their management and leadership skills. Production is another significant cost area. This involves manufacturing new parts and components essential to keeping the cars race-ready. Each part of an F1 car is precisely designed and made from high-quality materials, making the production process extremely expensive. For example, building an F1 engine can cost over £10 million. Additionally, teams constantly need to upgrade their cars with new parts to improve performance, representing a continuous expense throughout the season. Besides production costs, daily team operations are also expensive. Logistics and transportation are particularly costly, as teams need to transport their cars, equipment and personnel to different locations worldwide to compete in races. This includes air and sea freight, which is logistically complex and expensive. For example, transporting all necessary equipment for a race in Singapore can cost a fortune. Additionally, teams have operational costs such as IT and technology, factory maintenance, and entertainment for clients and sponsors. All these costs add up to create an extremely expensive operation that requires careful financial management to ensure the team can compete effectively. Teams that can efficiently manage these costs and invest wisely in areas that provide the highest performance return are the ones that stand out on the grid. In summary, operating a Formula One team is an expensive and complex endeavor requiring substantial investment in research and development, salaries, production, and daily operations. Every aspect of a team's functioning is crucial to its success and competitiveness, and teams that can balance these costs with revenues from sponsors, broadcasting rights, and other income sources are the ones most likely to succeed in the long term. Revenues of F1 teams. Formula One teams have various revenue sources essential for covering the high operational costs and ensuring their competitiveness. The primary source of income is payments from Formula One Management, FOM, which distributes a significant portion of the profits generated by the category among the teams. These payments are based on several criteria, including the previous season's championship ranking and longevity in the category. The most successful teams like Mercedes and Red Bull receive larger payments, incentivizing competitiveness and performance excellence. Sponsors are another vital revenue source for F1 teams. Companies worldwide pay millions to have their logos displayed on cars, driver uniforms, and team facilities. Sponsorships are essential not only for the team's financial stability but also for brand building. Sponsors like Petronas, which supports Mercedes, or Red Bull, which has its own team, invest large sums of money in exchange for global visibility. This investment is not just financial, it also involves technological and marketing collaboration, benefiting both parties. In addition to FOM payments and sponsorships, F1 teams also receive investments from their parent companies or shareholders. For example, Daimler AG, owner of Mercedes-Benz, invests directly in the Mercedes-AMG Petronas F1 team to ensure they have the necessary resources to compete at the highest level. These investments can be substantial and are often used for technological development, infrastructure improvements, and talent acquisition. Companies like Daimler see F1 not just as a sport but as a marketing and innovation platform where advancements made in racing cars can be transferred to road vehicles. Another form of revenue, although less common, is income linked to drivers, also known as pay drivers. Some drivers bring personal sponsorships or financing from companies wanting to associate their brands with the glamour of Formula One. This is more common in smaller teams that may struggle to balance their budgets. Drivers like Lance Stroll, who brought significant investment from his billionaire father to Williams and then to Racing Point, now Aston Martin, are examples of how external funding can help a team survive and grow. In addition to these primary sources, teams can also generate revenue through merchandise sales and product licensing. Selling items like caps, t-shirts, model cars, and other licensed products can significantly contribute to team coffers. These sales are driven by the global fandom of F1, where millions of fans desire to own a piece of the sport they love. Merchandising revenue is not just an additional cash flow, but also a marketing tool that helps increase brand loyalty and the team's global visibility. Thus, Formula One teams operate in a complex financial ecosystem where various revenue sources are necessary to sustain their operations and compete at the highest level of motorsport. The combination of FOM payments, sponsorships, corporate investments, driver-linked income and merchandise sales allows teams to maintain their operations and continue to innovate and improve their cars. Efficient management of these revenues and expenses is crucial to ensuring teams can not only survive but also thrive in the highly competitive arena of Formula One. Practical examples. To illustrate how finances work in a Formula One team, let's analyze a practical example using Mercedes as a case study. In 2019, Mercedes spent around $425 million, which includes research and development, manufacturing components, salaries for drivers and technical staff, and general operational costs. This exorbitant amount reflects the complexity and sophistication involved in operating a top-tier Formula One team. Most of these costs are attributed to research and development, R&D, an area where Mercedes invests heavily to maintain its competitive edge. This includes developing new engine technologies, aerodynamics, materials, and race strategies. For example, wind tunnel testing and computer simulations allow the team to refine the aerodynamic designs of cars, optimizing airflow and minimizing resistance. These investments are crucial because even marginal improvements can result in significant performance gains on the track. Driver and technical staff salaries are another major cost component for Mercedes. Drivers like Lewis Hamilton, one of the highest paid in the sport, receive salaries that can exceed $40 million annually. In addition to drivers, the team includes high-level engineers, race strategists, mechanics, and support staff, all well compensated for their skills and experience. These professionals are essential for the team's efficient functioning and ensuring the cars are always in top condition to compete. Component production also represents a significant portion of the expenses. Mercedes manufactures most of the car components in-house, which requires advanced production infrastructure and specialized labor. Engine manufacturing is particularly expensive, with costs that can exceed $10 million per unit. Additionally, the team constantly needs to update and replace parts to keep the cars competitive throughout the season. General operational costs include logistics, transportation, facility maintenance, and professional services. Transporting cars, parts, and personnel to races worldwide is a complex and expensive logistical operation. For example, sending all necessary equipment for a race in distant locations like Singapore involves charter. This was an overview of how F1 teams make money and operate as big businesses. Efficiency is key to success, especially for smaller teams like AlphaTauri. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so you don't miss any new content.